and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence.
No more. Tell me why. No more.
This whole story began developing 2 days ago. And from that point on, these terrible events kept on snowballing in a reign of terror that has not abated. The main advice news reporters have been able to get from official sources is to tell private citizens to stay inside their homes, behind locked doors.
A state of chaos and disorder is upon us. Will you take up arms? Will you help us make our last stand? The time is now. Let us be heard as we sing our way into battle.
Welcome out there, everybody. Welcome out there, everyone. Have a wonderful show for you guys tonight. Obviously, we haven't done a Cicada stream in a while, so we have a Cicada stream for you guys tonight. Hope you guys enjoy it. And we're going to start off with a video called Slumber. Okay, interesting. So this new video, Slumber, came out. It's unlisted. It's part of the new Cicada puzzle. What we dream and what dreams us. And let me know in the chat. I upgraded the mic, so hopefully now the microphone is better. Let me know how it's coming through in the chat, if you guys are having good audio quality. In fact, I will actually check myself. Let me know how it's coming through in the chat. If you guys... Sounds pretty good. So, moving on. Anyways, I cannot recall the exact stage, but this may be the separation of aqua regia after the mixing of rebus and vitriol, king's water. Now it'd be the scene here at the end, right here. So it might be the mixing of, oh, hold on, I did. Okay. As we have there. Let me get this music going as well. Agua regia, from Latin, literally regal water or royal water, is a mixture of nitric acid and hydrochloric acid, optimally a molar ratio of 1 to 3. Aqua regia is a fuming liquid. Freshly prepared aqua regia is colorless, but it turns yellow, orange, or red within seconds. So named by alchemists because it can dissolve the noble metals gold, platinum through not all metals. Upon mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid, chemical reactions occur. These reactions result in the volatile products nitrosyl chloride and chlorine gas. You can see the different chemical equations there. The 7 operations of alchemy. This is a visual guide to the operations of alchemy. We use the alchemical mandala actually used by alchemists in trying to understand the relationships between the processes of transformation. The Azoth shown above is a meditative emblem that appeared in several different forms during the late Middle Ages. The version were used in a base on an illustration first published in 1659 in the Azoth of Philosophers by legendary German alchemist Basil Valentine. The word Azoth in the title is one more arcane names for the first matter. The A and Z in the word relate to Alpha and Omega in the letters beginning and the end of the Greek alphabet. Thus the word is meant to convey the idea of the absolutely complete and full meaning of the first matter and its transformations. In this sense, the Azoth represents not just the chaotic first matter at the beginning of the work, but also its perfected essence, the philosopher's stone, at the conclusion of the work. You can see that there. So if we take a look at the unsolved pages here of the Liber Primus, there are still many, many unsolved pages. So there's still lots of work to be done. So let's continue on and keep trying to solve this thing. One of the interesting things that I think is likely going to happen in the near future is there's going to be some sort of reference to the Cicada puzzles by Elon Musk and crew. I know Anna Cooper knows Elon Musk's mother through the art world and being in all that type of stuff. So I hope that, like, you know, I think that there might be like some connection there, you know, between Anna and Elon and Thomas and Elon and all of that. And hopefully they can reach out to Elon and get the message to him, because he's been saying some pretty based and red-pilled things lately, if you haven't noticed. He's been talking about the Epstein client ring. He's been working with the U.S. military against the Chinese Communist Party. So Elon has been doing a lot of good things. And he's also been talking about taking Twitter back from these people, which would help in a bunch of ways. So, you know, maybe it can be done that someone like him could be reached out to and turned to the good side, taken away from the dark side and turned to the light side. And be like, dude, get away from these Peter Thiel Palantir types and start helping the Patriot side. See what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of reference to the Cicada puzzles or Cicada tokens by Elon or by SpaceX or by something of that nature in the near or distant future. With that being said, if you guys haven't taken a look at it yet, you guys can definitely go and check out the website for the Cicada tokens, which is the cryptocurrency token. And here they are, the Cicada 3301 token. You know, it's been connected to charity work. There's been a new winner of the puzzles that found one of the QR codes that got him or her a bunch of the coins and the tokens via solving the puzzles. So you don't have to necessarily even buy the Cicada token. If you contribute to the creation of the puzzles, you contribute to the solving of the puzzles, anything like that, you will find a way to earn the tokens, which is the best way to get your hands on the tokens anyways. And you can go to cicada3301token.com to find these. And then someone found this. It was a funny Scooby-Doo reference, the cicadas. And there's like these crews out there that think they're trying to like unmask the evil villain behind the Cicada token or something like that, when it's a publicly viewable and like completely out in the open blockchain cryptocurrency. But this is what they think they're doing.
Grandma Moonbeam?
Did we miss it? Where are the bugs?
You're the cicada creature? But why?
Isn't it obvious?
Oh, yeah, this is what they think they're doing. They're like, we got the cicada creature. It's Grandma Moonbeam. We got her, right? That's what the bad people think they're doing. Like, we uncovered who created these cicada tokens.
Yes. I wanted to shut down Destroido. I found out they added a secret ingredient to make nature's slivers more tasty. Landfill waste. I demanded that they return to my original healthy recipe, but they refused. And because they owned it, there was nothing I could do. I vowed to get even. I saw a Norwegian documentary about a researcher using sound waves to control penguins' movements. I decided to adapt the idea for my revenge. Since I didn't have any penguins, I used cicadas.
See, she wasn't a bad person after all. Turns out she was trying to save everyone from the toxic waste that the big evil corporate company was making them all eat just to make more money. See? So was uncovering the cicada lady really a good idea in the end? No, you should have let her keep scaring away all the people from the bad toxic shit. Sometimes the path is not always an easy one to discern in this life. Anyways, what's up out there? Thank you all for watching live. I appreciate it. As Kat says here, there are false paths and true paths. It is a pilgrim's job to sort that out. What one pilgrim finds to be true might not be true for others. Go down your own path, but do not try to lead others down your path. It may not be their true path. Cicada goes back something far earlier. You need to dig deeper than the Hebraic era. Much deeper. Go back 35,000 years. Hunter-gatherers and pilgrimages too. They had tribal elders who would ingest some berries from a plant and had visions for the hunting ceremonies. Also pointing out that cicadas, the insects, are never found in the bright sunshine, so much of their life cycle underground in dark, humid conditions. When they emerge, although diurnal, they still avoid direct sunlight. You'll find them in hidden places, seeking shade on the underside of a branch or a leaf perhaps. Finlay comment. So Finlay comments this. Nebuchadnezzar, taken from the book of Daniel, the legend of Nebuchadnezzar tells of a ruler who through hubris lost his mind and was reduced to animalistic madness and eating grass as oxen. Hubris, from the ancient Greek, pride, insolence, outrage, or less frequently hubris, describes a personality of quality of extreme or excessive pride, or dangerous overconfidence, often in combination with or synonymous with arrogance. Removes one pride and ego, which is the message of the Liber Primus. Scooby-Doo volume was too low? My bad. What is the message of the Liber Primus? Well, let's take a look at this image and how it was constructed here. Someone had taken the image and found the 4 images it came from. You can see here with the William Blake paintings. And these are the original images that made the cover image for the Liber Primus. All but one. And then when you combine them together, this is how they come together. Right? But then to make the full image, you need to reverse the images in multiple ways. Which is how you get the 5th image. And this is what you get when you put them all together. Right? And you can see the symmetry. And it almost gives you the way the Da Vinci painting does when you put the Da Vinci painting in various ways like this. It almost gives you a completely new painting from the original, like, and it gives you like this, you know, dualistic looking image where you have sort of like lighter characters on the left and darker characters on the right. Two versions of Nebuchadnezzar are used in a mirror-type way. Newton draws up a scroll with compass, a smaller version of that held by Urizen in the ancient days, which is a mirror to Newton in the cover. His attention is focused on a diagram which he draws with a compass. Blake was critical of Newton's reproductive scientific approach and shows him merely following the rules of his compass, blind to the colorful rocks behind him. Yet again, the message about the path, separating right from wrong, light from dark, etc. The ancient days. The opposite to Newton, which has a compass too, the seems divine, means to separate light and darkness. Lighter Nebuchadnezzar, hand on left, darker on right. Separate your light from your dark, ego and pride, from knowledge and strength. Yet again, the message meaning of Liber Primus. And then they had general notes here on this, which were separate ego from strength. Compass seems important. Two approaches, light and dark, science and spiritual. Two sides, mirror and reflection. And I would say to this that of course the compass is important. How are you going to find your way without it? You can't, if you're a pirate or a sailor or you're someone like on a pilgrimage anywhere. The compass is the most important thing. You need that to find your way. Or else how do you know you're on the right path? Right? And also with this, I would say that, as they noted, you're getting this sort of dualistic thing going here. Various paintings are used. This almost seems like a reference to the Grand Architect, right? Which would be sort of the Gnostic sort of view take on, you know, what they would call God, like the Grand Architect, like as depicted in The Matrix. And the other thing, yeah, so separating right from wrong. What was the thing that Lucifer taught mankind in the Garden of Eden? It was how to separate right from wrong. It wasn't necessarily giving mankind knowledge. It was knowledge of how to separate right from wrong, knowing good from evil, right? It wasn't just knowledge. It was very specific knowledge. So this is a reference back to that as well. Like, you know, you say here, yet again, the message about the path separating right from wrong, light from dark. Well, that goes back to the very beginnings of the fall of mankind, when they learned how to differentiate evil from good, right? So the great red dragon and the woman clothed in the sun. Interesting, right? This is Brooklyn Museum, 1803 to 1805. You can see the great red dragon painting here. Obviously by William Blake. The Great Red Dragon paintings is a series of watercolor paintings by the English poet and painter William Blake in between 1805 and 1810. It was during this period that Blake was commissioned to create over 100 paintings intended to illustrate the books of the Bible. These paintings depict the Great Red Dragon in various scenes from the Book of Revelation. And behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew from the third part of the stars of the heaven and cast them into the earth. This is the number of the beast is 666. The beast from the sea. The great red dragon and the woman clothed in the sun. It's a very interesting painting. This is also the same thing. Great red dragon and the woman clothed in the sun. You see, they made a film. The film was very interesting because basically, if I remember correctly, the Red Dragon film, right? Red Dragon may refer to the Red Dragon magazine, Red Dragon 2002 film. There's all types of stuff connected to this, obviously. The SpaceX Red Dragon, a canceled robotic lander mission to Mars by SpaceX. The Red Dragon, a 1595 16th century gunship. But it's interesting, there also was a Red Dragon SpaceX. Here we have the Red Dragon film by Brett Ratner. Psychosis, a psychological thriller film based on the 1981 novel by Thomas Harris, directed by Brett Ratner, and written by Ted Talley, a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. It sees FBI agent Will Graham, Edward Norton, enlisting the help of serial killer Hannibal Lecter to catch another killer, Francis Dollarhide. Harvey Keitel, Emily Watson, and Philip Seymour Hoffman are also in the movie. So basically, in this movie, the FBI is going after, like, a serial killer using another serial killer, which is based on the psychological unit that operates at the FBI that catches these people, right? It's been covered in the Program to Kill series. It's very interesting stuff. Connects to a lot of very interesting things like the Zodiac Killer, for instance, which is one of these Program to Kill connections to like all of this stuff, which is really interesting. And here you have the precious blood of the lamb at the red. They're like promoting this. And so in Silence of the Lambs,
the lambs were screaming.
You have this. And what is the blood of the lamb in the Bible? That would be the blood of Jesus Christ, right? And here you have like Satanic Hollywood making these like obvious Bible references here. Super Bowl trailer 2021, Silence of the Lambs.
I tried to free them. I thought if I could save just one. But he was so heavy. So heavy. I couldn't save them then. But I will never stop trying.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can see, like, the obvious, like, you know, references to the Bible and stuff like that. And then here we have this very interesting video by Cicada. They came out a long time ago. But let's take a look at this and then we'll analyze it in context of what's going on in the Leviathan gas fields and with everyone's favorite nation, Israel, and in terms of what's going on with regards to the Bible. So there you go. Good video. It is very predictive, programming, if you will, of the war in Ukraine, in my opinion. So well done. This came out in like 2018 or so. It's also with the like overturned shopping carts and like society on the verge of collapse. Like obviously, I think they're showing like the society that we're living in now. So it's very predictive, well done, very prophetic, if you will. Ghost 3301 says he remixed this. If you can drop a link to that, I will play the remix at the end of the show, bro, if it's any good. So definitely do that. Anyways, getting into the Leviathan gas fields. Leviathan gas fields, Leviathan, once again, that's like, a huge name from the Bible. Leviathan gas fields may become a point of interest soon, containing the coordinates 33.01 north, 33.01 east, 3301 both directions. Wikipedia here, Leviathan gas fields. And you can see what these are. So, they're like basically these offshore gas fields just west of Israel, basically. You can see there, Leviathan gas field. Country, Israel, but really it's in the middle of the sea. It's a large natural gas field in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Israel. The gas field is roughly 130 kilometers west of Haifa in the waters 1,500 meters deep in the Levantine Basin, a rich hydrocarbon area in the largest offshore natural gas field finds. As of 2017, even by conservative estimates, Leviathan... Oh, hold on, let me... As of 2017, even by conservative estimates, Leviathan holds enough gas to meet Israel's domestic needs for 40 years. The field began commercial production of gas on 31 December 2019. The potential for a natural gas prospect at the Leviathan site was identified by geologist Elton Eitenberg, co-founder of the small Israeli oil exploration company Ratio. To assist with exploring the prospect, Ratio enlisted the cooperation of another Israeli firm, Delek, who then bought the Texas-based Noble Energy to the venture, with whom it had previously developed the small Mary B offshore gas field in southern Israel under the Yam Tethys partnership. In July 2010, Noble Energy announced that seismic studies indicated there was a 50% chance of the Leviathan field containing natural gas, with the potential reserve size being estimated at 16 trillion cubic feet. So right there, Leviathan gas field at 3301 and 3301 coordinates. Job 41-1. Can thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Can thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through his thorn? Will he make any supplication unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will take thou him for a servant forever? ? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? U.S. oil major Chevron is the main operator of the Israeli gas fields, and thanks to the Abraham Accords that opened trade and diplomatic relations between Israel and 4 of its Arab neighbors. You can see that in this Al Monitor. Global energy crisis opens possibilities. Here, gas prices keep rising, but Team Biden seeks to stop a pipeline. you need any more of that anti-American, pro-Russia, pro-Iran, pro-China, anti-Israel wing of the Democrat Party has captured the White House flag. Last week we learned Team Biden plans to put out the kibosh on a natural gas pipeline with U.S. involvement that would reduce Europe's dependence on Russian energy. The Eastern Mediterranean gas pipeline, which would carry Israeli and Cypriot natural gas, is yet another energy resource serving America's strategic interests that the Biden White House wants gone. So there you go. The East Med Pipeline Agreement. And this would bring 10 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Israel's Leviathan in the Tamir offshore to Europe, offsetting supplies that otherwise would come from Russia. Mike, the link to this video is in the show notes, so you'll find it on Hive. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see that here. The security dimension of the Abraham Records. December 2021, a year after the Abraham Records were signed by Israel, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates. Joined a few weeks later, U.S. Secretary of State Tory Blinken spoke enthusiastically of the Arab-Israeli collaborations already underway in various domains, including energy, healthcare, and blah, blah, blah. One of the potential security benefits of these historic normalization deals, however, he was almost mum. Arab-Israeli leaders who participated in the call with Blinken were tight-lipped too. They were eager to emphasize the political and economic opportunities of the Accord, but careful not to limit any talk of military cooperation to vague notions of peace and stability. When they say peace, sudden war shall come upon them. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall cometh upon them. So. And then Isaiah, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be in a ruinous heap. And if you look at the location of the Leviathan oil field and how close it is to Damascus, it's not out of the realm of possibilities to think that there might be some sort of war that would level Damascus over this Leviathan oil field. As of 2017, by conservative estimates, Leviathan holds enough gas to meet Israel's domestic needs for 40 years. Field began commercial production of gas on 31 December 2019. Russian President Putin and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreed to allow major concessions for Gazprom to develop the Leviathan reserves. Lebanon's parliament speaker, Nabi Berri, stated that Israel is ignoring the fact that, according to the maps, the deposit extends into Lebanese waters. Agence France Presse report on June 9th, Israeli Minister of National Infrastructures, Uzi Landu, responded, "We will not hesitate to use our force and strength to protect not only the rule of law, but international maritime law," in an interview. Now getting into Orion's belt. Here. If we take a look at this video, you guys will notice that the pyramids show up in this video, and the pyramids are an exact copy of Orion's belt, except on the ground. So if you look at them from above, it's the exact same layout as Orion's belt, which is fascinating about the pyramids. And also the way the sun sets on them is another reference to Orion's belt from the pyramids. And in this cicada video here, which is linked in the show notes for you guys if you want, you will find that the pyramids are displayed in here at about the 7-minute mark.
haru aku prau nida lewat masuk haru naba chas tahwa nisu bertuni ta'awa mutahdara sa'ara narif ahluse damehu ce sa amuna kayu khuati marif awai rajan nasi nachar nafira wan ma chima au nana galunga sich nergis mata tra.
Abhad mer supoti kientosiatio, Rahunin sum Maria, Shamsu Sikul, Jatan, Yakshan.
Alright, so to me at the end of this, you have you have the light and the darkness, like you have like the duality represented here, right? So you can see good and evil, like in the beginnings of where this would have been discerned, right? A lot of people think like the Garden of Eden would have been in this area before the flood. Yeah, we're on Rockfin. I'm on the Rockfin there, Molasses. Thank you for asking. We're live right now. We got some people watching over there on the Rockfin. We're also on YouTube on the Cicada 3301 Captain Frost channel or something of that nature. It's like Captain Frost Cicada 3301 or something like that. Over there on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel just for the Cicada streams. So getting back to this. The year the great seventh number is accomplished. That I can't quite discern yet. There was some ideas about that. Maybe not in there. Maybe I didn't copy it in the show notes. But basically, are we like in that time frame now? Like, are we in this? Have they accomplished the great seventh number? Was it, the whole like Rona-chan thing and getting everyone to take the mark and stuff like that? That they will be the authors of a great conflict. So the people who did this thing, are now the authors of a great conflict. And we're now seeing that rise up with the Ukraine and also Taiwan. I mean, if Taiwan was invaded tomorrow, that would be a massive, huge conflict on the world stage. Hidden cages will retain the hostages. I don't know what that means, but that's really interesting. I'm thinking maybe that's to do with Taiwan because they have so many deep underground military bases and stuff, and if China takes Taiwan, like, they'll keep people like as hostages in those deep hidden cages. See what I'm saying? Maybe that's what that's in reference to. Stones will cause multitudes to perish in waves, the markets to collapse. And to me, this is a reference to asteroids. Like, and once again, I don't know if it's asteroids or kinetic rods. If there's a big war going on, it might be kinetic rods that they're, stones that are being dropped from the heaven. I don't know which one of the two, but one of the two are definitely, I think, to worry about. Either asteroids coming in and hitting the Earth or kinetic rods being dropped on the planet, right? Both would reduce the population and cause massive waves, like could cause tidal waves in some cases to decimate entire cities. So, very, very interesting prediction there. That's interesting. BB Bay says maybe a mass unseen cage over the whole populace. Yeah, maybe. And then you can see here what looks like the Earth is on fire. And you're seeing it from the upside down perspective of how a whale would see it. So the whales are swimming under the water, and you're seeing the waves from under, like if you were swimming under the water here, and you're looking up at the waves, and above the waves, the Earth is on fire. And then it goes right to the pyramids, which is a reminder from before the flood, right? So the pyramids, in my estimation, were built before the flood, and this is reminding you that the planet goes through cycles, and, during these cycles of time, these things happen, right? It's like you're seeing the whales surviving the end of the world by swimming under the water, right? Like life goes on. And, interesting to me also, these pyramids, I won't get into necessarily all the details of it, but if you take a look at these pyramids, they're clearly built to be like large batteries, basically, the way they were built with the limestone, because the outer limestone is far less conductive to electricity than the inner limestone. So, like, it wasn't just lined with this very expensive limestone to make it look pretty. It basically turned the entire thing into a battery. Because when you do that and you have a large amount of highly compacted material of a certain conductance, and then you have a much lower conductance wrapping that material, what you've basically created is a battery. And then you add in the fact that they found underwater tunnels under these things that were full of salt water, which is, once again, highly conductive electricity. And the salt water was used to be pumped in and out by the tide in the river. Basically, what they had built is giant power plants. Based on the design that we already know exists, you'd have a ton of static electricity being built by the flowing salt water underneath. And then these things, when built properly and with the limestone wrapping them properly, would be able to hold energy quite well. So with the salt water pumping static electricity into them, and them being giant batteries, you have power plants. That's just basic, like, that's not even conspiracy theory. That's just basic stuff looking at them. So, they ran water through the pyramids to make it a hydropower generator. Exactly. Yep. And the other thing is, you can actually see that these things were built a lot earlier because the river used to run right next to these a couple thousands, like more than 10,000 years ago. The river ran further to, like, right up next to these things, basically. And then it's migrated away from them over thousands of years. So in my estimation, like, the Egyptians that everyone gives credit for in mainstream media, all they did was dig these up. These were already there. They just dug them out of the dirt and were like restoration projects, not construction projects. These things have been there for a lot longer. Just my opinion. Just like we started off with the thing tonight about how cicadas have been around for 35,000 years, I think the pyramids have been around for quite a long time. So, anyways, that's a little take on that. So the Orion's belt's also featured in there. You can see at 7 features scenes of the 3 Great Pyramids of Giza in this video here. And obviously you can see here these are the 3 Great Pyramids, but right at 7 minutes they really... You can see right there. Notice the angle and the sun. The 3 Great Pyramids of Giza depicted here is the concept known as the Eris Edge, a 45 angle that the sun follows along the slope of the pyramid, i.e. Orion's belt. So you can see here, see what they're talking about, the Eris Edge here. See how that's depicted in the video? While doing some research, I happened upon a website ran by a guy I've seen, Instagram, Robert Edward Grant. He makes some of the connections between Salvador Mundi and the Eris Edge Orion, the arrival of the Pharaoh. So if we go take a look at this here. Yeah, I need to translate the Arabic, exactly. The Da Vinci's Salvator Mundi in the Great Pyramid of Giza. As a continuation of a decryption work of the Salvator Mundi, proving its authenticity and authorship, note that the inverted image of the X-shaped garment embroidery informs the Eris edge angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza. However, my wife also noticed that the inner structure of the King's Chamber with the Great Pyramid, overall shape and placement positioning very slightly offset from the center, is likewise mirrored with the design of the garment of Christ, the Salvator Mundi. Another confirmation of the purpose of this encryption combined with the many others already identified and posted here on IG over the past 10 days. So what is the meaning of the amber stone at both the center immediately over Christ's heart and another higher up on the garment? See that there. See the Eris edge. Interesting, isn't it? And this is the photo that's like, you know, supposedly if we can solve this photo, we can solve the Liber Primus. And they say, additionally, the belt is associated with the armor of God, emblematic of truth. The belt of truth is the first piece of the full armor of God, is to be listed in Ephesians 6:10-17. The passage begins with the admonition from the Apostle Paul to be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. And this is the key to understanding the armor of God. All the pieces of the armor belong to him and come from him. You can see here the belt of truth. What is the belt of truth in Ephesians 6:14? The belt of truth is the first piece of the armor, full armor of God. The Passion begins, as we just read all that. The keys to understanding, this is the key to understanding the armor of God. All the pieces of the armor belong to him and come from him. Truth, righteousness, the gospel, faith, and salvation. All the gifts of God to his people for their defense. All except the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, are defensive in nature. All are designed to help us stand against the schemes of the devil. The belt of truth is the first part of the armor listed because without truth, we are lost, and the schemes of the devil will surely overpower us. It is fitting that the belt of truth is the first piece of the whole armor of God. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and it is only through him that we come to God. Therefore, the truth is the utmost importance in the life of a Christian. Without truth, the rest of the armor would be no use to us because we would not have the spirit of truth. So there you go. The most important thing is truth. With that being said, we continue on our path to solve the Liber Primus, slowly but surely as we continue to decipher the meanings of these things and try to understand what exactly we're breaking down and all these things. I truly appreciate all you guys that came here and watched and participated tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Please remember to share this out there. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to join the Discord, go join the Cicada Discord and you can help be a solver. That's where all of this information came from tonight. So shout out to all the Cicada solvers out there in the Cicada Discord. I really appreciate all the hard work and research that you guys do. So much obliged to all of you, since this is 99% your research. and I just really appreciate it. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the fathers out there. You know, happy Father's Day to everybody out there, including Thomas Schoenberger. You know, much appreciated out there to Thomas. He's a father, so happy Father's Day to him. And congratulations for being such a great father to your son, Wolfgang. So, anyways, happy Father's Day out there, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful night. We're going to end with this video that's unlisted called Slumber. So if you want to go watch it, you can go to the show notes and you can find your way there. And this is on the Sophia Music channel, where there's a bunch of other extremely good music and videos. So anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and happy Father's Day out there to all the fathers. Take care, everyone. Have a nice evening.